This episode brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever find yourself playing the budgeting game? Shifting a little money here, a little there, and hoping it all works out? Well, with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive, you can get a better budgeter and potentially lower your insurance bill too. You tell Progressive what you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll help find you options within your budget. Try it today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.
Now tuned into the greatest.
So when that bag come, I won't fumble. I'm just stacking on the low, but hey, I'm tired of being humble. Let me get to it. That motivation music. Get control of your life, don't let nobody else do it. Cause and I gon' have Metro S550s cruising. Feel like you winning on the ground.
Yes, sir. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to The Run with me, Manny Wilson, all the way from Detroit to Chicago to your speakers and headphones. I appreciate you tuning in to the first interactive sports podcast, a community that makes sure your voice is heard. So if you hear something you agree with, you disagree with, you like or you dislike, go ahead, shoot us a quick take on our voicemail line, 219-413-9405. And of course, we will play it back next on our episode or on our next episode. And then speaking of episodes, shout out to SeatGeek for sponsoring this episode. Get $20 off your first ticket purchase when you use the promo code at The Run Podcast. This ticket purchase this code only applies to first-time users on the mobile app or website. So I don't know about you, but my Tigers been rolling. We coming back from the All-Star break. This is when it really gets good. Works for concerts, all of that stuff too. So definitely check it out there. And then, man, we got some stuff going on with Bradley Beal of the Phoenix Suns, or should I say the LA Clippers. Brad Beal is now signing a deal with the Los Angeles Clippers. Man, so he was bought out by the Phoenix Suns, and then now he's going to join the Clippers on a 2-year, $11 million deal with the player option after clearing all those waivers and stuff with the Suns. So this helps the Suns because now they have some flexibility with, team finances, and also too, they can have some first round and second round options with those draft picks that they traded previously. So it helps them out. And then obviously for the Clippers, they get a Bradley Beal. Now, when I seen this trade initially, I'm not going to lie to y'all, some people were hype about it. This trade did not move me at all. Not one bit. Truth be told. The only reason I made this segment just because I had to talk a little bit about it and, the irony of it. Because, Brad Beal, maybe he does still have some stuff left in the tank. Maybe he doesn't. But initially, when I seen this trade, the first thing that crossed my mind was, oh, okay, Bradley Beal to the Clippers to go play with Kawhi Leonard, James Harden, and the rest of the guys over there who are great, talented players, a lot of great role players over there. And I'm like, this is dope. But maybe 10 years ago, this would have been a hit with Kawhi, Harden, and Bradley Beal. Or maybe even 5 years ago, I would have been excited about Kawhi, James Harden, and Bradley Beal all on the same team with some great role players around them. But right now, all I can think of seeing is doubtful and day-to-day injuries being reported from this roster with Kawhi Leonard, James Harden, and Bradley Beal. Kawhi clearly showed what he can do last year. Harden has shown what he can do over the past few years. Both of those guys are still playing at an elite level. Bradley Beal is possibly still going to come back and play at an elite level. Who knows? But even if he does, the Clippers, it never seems to matter. Even if they have the most talented roster on paper ever, for some weird reason that's out there, they can never, ever get it done. For probably the past since Kawhi has been there, they've had the best roster multiple times. You could argue that they had an elite top roster in the NBA since Kawhi has been there, but yet they have nothing to show for it. I don't know why it never works out. I've been saying this is the wrong side of LA, and it's been showing. A lot of injuries on this side, a lot of, it's just the wrong side of LA, man. It's the wrong side. Nothing good happens on this side of LA, apparently. And then I think of like the roster standpoint. Okay, yeah, you got your big three duo or dynamic duo trio, I should say. You got your trio, your big three trio between Kawhi, Brad Beal, James Harden. And then you actually have a lot of other talent on this roster here. And like, man, this is the elite team on paper, but that's just what they are every single year. That's what they are every offseason. They're an elite team on paper. Because looking at what this team has right now, okay, yeah, James Harden at the 1, Brad Beal at the 2, Kawhi Leonard at the 3, John Collins, who's a great player, Zubac, who's a great player. And then you look at the backups, Chris Dunn, Bogdanovich, Derrick Jones Jr., Nicholas Batum, Brook Lopez. Like, come on, man. Out of the 10 guys on this team, they are stacked. So when I'm looking at this, I'm like, all right, Ty Lue, what are you doing? You have no excuse. You have zero excuses for not going to the finals, not going back to the finals, not going on a deep playoff run. Because at this point, I'm putting Ty Lue in the same conversation as Doc Rivers if he don't make something happen in this whole Kawhi Leonard with the Clippers era. Because he's had multiple chances. He had multiple talented rosters that should have been in the finals multiple times, but yet we never see anything come from it. So at this point, yes, Ty Lue, yeah, he coached LeBron and he's got his championship over there in Cleveland and stuff, but so does Doc Rivers. Doc Rivers coached Ray Allen, Kevin Garnett, and Paul Pierce and Rondo, all of them with the Boston Celtics. He had his time too where he looked like a good coach. Ty Lue, if you don't get it together with this roster, if something doesn't happen with this roster on Ty Lue's team, I'm going to begin to put him in them Doc Rivers conversations. Because there's no other excuse of why you aren't seeing success when you got this much talent on your team year in and year out. Every year. I mean, you had Kawhi, Paul George, and James Harden. Now you had Westbrook at one point. Now you got Paul George, Kawhi, and Brad Beal. Hell, even just Paul George or even just Kawhi and James Harden on the same team. Even that is just more than enough to go on some sort of playoff runs. And I know Kawhi has been hurt and stuff, which is a big reason for this. But even without Kawhi, this team is not garbage. Like if Kawhi said, and you know what, I'm not going to play all next season. Chris Dunn, Bogdanovich, Derrick Jones Jr., Batum, and Lopez coming off the bench is more than enough. You got starters there with John Collins and Zubac and Brad Beal. Like, that's more than enough, even if Kawhi was like, I'm not going to play at all. So I look at this roster, and from the way it's constructed, it is, a nice, talented team. It looks like, okay, they're going to do something come playoff time. But this has been a thing, a reoccurring thing, year in and year out, season after season. So I struggle with this. I struggle believing in the Clippers and believing that the Clippers will actually make something happen come playoff time. Now, I'm hoping that that's the case, but again, man, I'm starting to run out of excuses for why the Clippers can't get it done in the postseason. And regardless of the injuries, they've always had talent on this team. Whether it was bench guys, whether it was other starters on this team, they haven't been scrubs just surrounding Harden and Kawhi. That has not been the case at all. So I'm running out of excuses. But anyway, look, man, this team, it'll be something to watch. Hopefully we see Brad Beal have a great season, man. I would love to actually see Brad Beal come in and ball out. I know a lot of people get into that argument of, well, Brad Beal, he needs to hang it up. He's washed. Oh, the Suns stunt was just kind of weird and he didn't make anything happen when he was over in Phoenix. So Brad Beal need to hang it up. He's done for. He's cooked. He's old. All of these narratives come out about Bradley Beal. But truthfully, when he's in a game, I mean, we haven't really seen him get a fair shot in the past few seasons, obviously coming since the injury, I should say, because when he was injured in DC, obviously that was a different story. But coming back, I mean, we're yet to really see him go crazy. So I'm curious to see how he'll fit in with other stars of James Harden and Kawhi Leonard, especially with James Harden being such a facilitator in this point in his career. I'm curious to see what goes down, see what kind of role he can play, see if it's a efficient role. I would love to see him go out there and get buckets, though, because a lot of people forget, man, Bradley Beal, I mean, no matter what people see in these few years of him coming off the injury, he's no scrub. Brad Beal is no scrub at all. That needs to be understood. So it could be either way. I think it's going to be good for the Clippers because they have a solid roster. But if Brad Beal comes back and he is hooping, it could get really, really nasty. But again, I say this every time Clippers make a big trade. So what do I know at this point? I don't want to buy into the hype. We just got to watch and see exactly what happens here. So anyway, look, man, I got a side note here. And this side note is going to be, pertaining to the MLB here. And, the MLB, man, they really hit it out the park with the All-Star break. Now, the home run derby was super cool. Shout out to Cal Riley the home run derby winner. He balled out, did his thing. He's been on a tear all season. He's actually on a phenomenal season in the first half of the season. So I'm expecting a lot from him coming back this second half of the season for him. So also, but the thing that stood out to me with the MLB All-Star Weekend was the thing that stood out was truly the All-Star Game. The All-Star Game was a hit, man. Now, I was loving it because the game was a little slow to start off. Genuinely speaking, it was kind of slow, and then did pick back up at times, and then the end, it really, really, really picked up big time. And the swing off is ultimately the thing where I'm like, man, they got to keep this swing off. Now, the swing off, look, I loved it. And I loved it so much, I contemplated making an argument to incorporate it in the regular season. Honestly, I'm like, this is just crazy. I loved it from an all-star standpoint. However, the only thing I dislike about the swing off is the name. I don't know who the hell came up with this name, swing off. They knocked it out the park with the way they constructed how the swing off was going to happen, picking three guys to, hit homers and whoever has the most at the end. I loved everything about it besides the name. Who the hell came up with swing off? To me, just a little too close to what Diddy had going on and all of that stuff. Look, they don't need to associate themselves with that. So I'm like, all right, like I get it. You need a name for it. It's probably happening super quick, but I'm like, look, all right, let me just see what online can give me, what type of names AI can give me. So I search it up. I'm like, all right, instead of naming this event on or after, the All-Star Game, and, if it goes to the swing offs, instead of keeping that name swing offs, please change that name, because it's just too close to other things going on in the world. Someone people know named Diddy and his freak offs. So I searched up some different names, and I'm like, all right, you could have used the walk-off round. Nice and simple, the walk-off round. You could go slugger smash off. A little crazy, but still works out. I mean, it still sounds better than swing offs when you talk about Diddy freak offs. I just kind of want to avoid offs in general when we're talking about finding names for certain elements of the game. So slugger smash off is a little crazy, but you can say slugger smash round. Anything. Another one, backyard bombs. Simple, nice, simple, easy going, quick. The Dinger Derby. Another easy one. All of those is so much better than the swing off. I can't do that, bro. The swing off is just crazy to me. I mean, I love the element of that being added, but that's just so crazy to me. It was amazing from an entertaining standpoint, but please, just next year, just change the name a little bit, man. You really don't want yourself to be associated with that. You could have just had it, the walk-off round. As simple as that, bro. It's that simple. But anyway, I really did love that, man. I enjoyed that part of, the baseball All-Star break, the MLB All-Star break, man. But I thought the game was good. And I also didn't like that people were dressed up and leaving early. That was weird because we missed a prime slot of having some real heavy hitters step up to the plate and kind of go against each other and see who gave the most homers. Like, we missed the Ohtani, Aaron Judge type of thing. Like, this was... guys left early, and it sucks. You don't really want to make anything required because it is supposed to be the break, All-Star break, but also it's kind of annoying that was the case. So, I don't know. We'll see. But look, man, we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to jump into some more stuff. So, Shane Gills, he hosted the ESPYs, and, he had some controversial jokes, so we're going to see if they were actually funny, if they weren't, if they were controversial, if it wasn't. So, don't go anywhere. We're going to be right back. It's halftime.